I remember a cartoon strip, I believe it was, many, many years ago, and it was a picture of a tiger and something the tiger was eating. And in the cartoon, the mommy tiger was talking to the little tiger, and the little tiger looked like it was playing with a little creature, maybe a rabbit or something of that nature. And as it was playing with the rabbit, the mommy tiger scolded the baby tiger and said, "Stop playing with your food. Just eat." Now that seems like a little bit morbid or even violent kind of an imagery for me to paint for you so early in the morning, but I really want you to ask the question, have you ever found yourself in the position of the rabbit? Where you feel like maybe it's just a little play right now, but there's something going on in the background that maybe you're not privy to, because unless you speak tiger, you don't hear mommy tiger telling the baby tiger that you're currently playing with to stop playing with the food and just consume the meal. And if you're the rabbit, you might think, we're just having fun, but you're about to be dinner. See, there are dark times going on in the lives of people all over the world today, and many people are not taking the dark times that they're living in seriously, and others are taking those dark times even more seriously than they deserve. And that's what I want to talk about, the role of a leader in those times today. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. Maybe you've been in those places in your life. Maybe it was a season, like a couple of days or a couple of weeks. Maybe it was several months after you lost a job or went through a tough time or a bad relationship or a career change, or maybe it was the end of your military career or the end of a long career after retirement. And you're thinking to yourself, what am I going to do with myself next? Well, if you've been in that place, you know that there was always at least one person in the background of your life telling you, you know what, just be done with it. Just get it over with. But there's also always been at least one person in the background of your life who said, you're going to make it through this. In fact, what's coming better is even better than where you're at right now. What's ahead of you is better than what's behind you. Where you are might be a dark space, but life is going to get better. It's only going to get better, though, if you persevere through this dark time. See, leaders have to be responsible to the people that they influence. Now, these may not be people on their team who get paid by them. These may not be people that they benefit from at all. But they're people that they influence nonetheless. And if you're a leader who influences others and you see them struggling in a dark time, you see them wrestling with coming out of this pandemic or deciding whether or not to stay in the career they've been in, or do I go back to the workplace when I'm afraid of who may or may not have gotten the vaccine, or who may or may not have something that could threaten my life. Do I even want to go back to work in the place that I came out of? See, these are all questions that people are struggling with kids in school and not back in school yet. And so many places, that means mom can't go back to work, and now the whole entire household financial structure is different. As leaders, it may not be that those are people on our team. They may not be people who work for us or people that we interact with on a daily basis. But when we do interact with them, as leaders, our role should be to speak hope. It's going to get better. There are opportunities. There are jobs out there. If not jobs right now, there's a lot of education opportunity to better yourself and look for the next thing. But giving up right now isn't going to change anything. So let me ask you this question, and I really want to ponder on this with you. I would love for your comments in this video. I would love for you to reply and tell me, what would your advice be if you were a bunny who spoke tiger, and you were sitting off to the side, and you overheard mommy tiger tell the baby tiger, stop playing with your food and just eat it already? What would you tell the baby tiger? I want you to type that in the comments. What would you tell the baby rabbit? If you knew that both the tiger and the rabbit had a better future, a better hope, if one didn't consume the other, what would you say? What would you say? See, that battle is raging. A lot of people are not willing to admit it, but there are forces outside your life right now screaming in your ear to carry on with the destruction of others, to take someone's job, to enact violence against them, to speak against them, to cancel their career. Those voices are there. The mommy tiger is saying, stop playing around and just destroy them. And at the same time, there's probably a mommy rabbit standing on the side going, they're not playing anymore. Get out of there or you're going to get your lunch eaten. In fact, you're going to be lunch. Get out of there. And so from neither of those positions is there hope. As a leader, when you see people in that imminent peril position, the career they're in is definitely coming to an end. Maybe the industry is coming to an end. Maybe, I don't know, they worked for a pipeline called Keystone or something, and now all of a sudden they're completely out of a job. Or maybe a decade ago they worked in a coal mine and now they're completely out of a job, and that industry isn't coming back. That job isn't coming back. They're going to have to move into something completely different. How then do you help them find new hope? Last night I attended a meeting with District 3 in Dallas, what many would call the southern sector. And I listened to a string of probably 8 people who came from the city of Dallas, who explained to nonprofit leaders and small business owners in Dallas what the procurement process looked like for the city of Dallas. So if they owned a business or they owned a nonprofit that was serving a need that the city of Dallas has, here's how these millions or hundreds of millions of dollars are doled out. Here's how we decide who we hire for or who we give that money to, whether it's a grant or it's a paid contract for labor rendered. And as I saw people in this room, there were some who were very frustrated that I've applied for that and it didn't work. And others have said, well, I applied for it and it worked, but then this changed, or I got this far in the process. Here's what I see. I see a bunch of baby bunnies that right now are being told by some people, don't deal with them, they're just here to consume you. Don't deal with them, they're just going to destroy you. While others are saying, run as fast as you can. And others are saying, stop playing with their food, just get them all in a room and then we'll take advantage of them later. Yep, there are people who are running their businesses today wondering if the tax man is going to bang on the door. There are people running their business today wondering if tomorrow everything they've been doing for their business will suddenly become illegal. Like it did, let's see, what was that, late 90s when people were faxing out documentation as a sale, as an advertisement. It would come to the fax machine. I know some of you are not old enough to remember fax machine. It's when your phone and your printer were connected to each other. And it would sometimes just start ringing like somebody was trying to call you, but they weren't calling you, they were sending you a document like you might scan and send through your email or your phone now. And it would just print out and land on your desk and waste all your ink and all the toner in your printer, and a lot of people got really irritated. But there were people who were making literally hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, millions of dollars a year by selling the idea of faxing to hundreds of people or thousands of people their advertisements. So it was like junk mail, but it landed on your printer instead of in your mailbox. It was like spam, only it landed on your printer and not on your email box. It was like scam calling, where you get this scam likely on your phone. It was like that, only it landed on your printer and used up your paper and your ink resources. One executive order, signed by President Bill Clinton at the time, ended that process. And suddenly, hundreds of people who were making millions of dollars were bankrupt. They couldn't pay their employees. The industry was gone. That's an industry that'll probably never come back. And there were a lot of people who were in that scenario running a business, small business owners, who were the baby bunny. And someone told the baby tiger, just eat the lunch and be done with it. And others said, you should run for your life while you can. As a leader, how do you articulate hope? What would you say if you spoke both bunny and tiger and you heard the warning and you had the opportunity to help? That's my challenge to you today. I would love to see you put it in the comments to share this video and tell people what you would say if you could speak hope to those who feel like they're either about to have their lunch eaten or they're about to be lunch. Because I know right now there are a lot of people who are sitting on the edge of the bed, sitting on the edge of their desk chair, asking themselves, is it worth going on? let me tell you clearly, it's worth going on. It may not be the same tomorrow that it is today. It may not be the same for the next 5 years that it has been for the last 5 years, and that's okay. If you're here and you're breathing, have hope. If you're here and you can hear my voice, have hope. And if you need a private conversation, send me a private message on social media. I'll be delighted to sit down and chat with you. Even if I can't offer you any resources, I will offer you hope. I believe that's the role of a leader. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast, or Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day. Subscribe now for our extensive video library of leadership lessons promoting faith, family, and freedom.